Perfect. Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Trisha with Insectopia, and today we're going to be going through the beetles. Yeah! Beetles! Love them. So all of the beetles are coleopterans. Coleo is rooted in the word coleus, and it means sheath or hard. And Ptera is rooted in wing. You're looking at insects with hard or sheathed wings. Elytra are the hard outer shells, or they are also the first pair of wings. That's the characteristic that the order is named for. We have a variety of carabids to look at today. Carabidae is the Latin name for ground beetles. He is called a fiery searcher. Ground beetles can also just be this flat black color. These are the tiger beetles. There is this huge variety in ground beetles. They can be brown, they can be blue, they can be violet sky. That's the key characteristic for carabids. They've got this, we call it an expanded trochanter on the hind leg. Fiery searcher, we're looking at this hind leg right here. That's the expanded trochanter, and that is the characteristic for the family of carabids. Tiger beetles are a type of ground beetle. I imagine tiger beetles like the vampires of the insect world. My tiger beetle is absolutely gorgeous. Tiger beetles can actually run so fast that they cannot see while they are running. And they're epic predators, the tiger beetles. The next family that we're going to be getting into are the Gyrinidae. And these guys are also known as the Whirligig beetles. These guys are the party beetles. They spin in circles all the time. You can see right here, he's got a compound eye, and you can imagine that on the other side of his body, he's also got a compound eye on the top. This ridge is where the water line is going to be. On the underside of this ridge, he has another compound eye. They have the ability to see above the water and below the water at the same time. Look at how fun that is. Wild. Now these are called the crawling water beetles, or the Haliplids. We are looking at the underside of this beetle. What we're looking at is right here. That's the hind leg, and it's going underneath this crazy looking plate here. This plate is the coccyx, but it's super, super expanded. And I imagine that having the ability to push their legs through this entire space probably makes them really great swimmers. That's going to be the characteristic for all Haliplids. They have these expanded coccyx. Alright, I want to stick with the aquatic beetles situation we've got going here. And the next one we're going to do, which are the Dytiscidae. The Dytiscids and the Hydrophilids tend to look very similar. Those are in two different families, all right? Those beetles are different enough that they actually have significant characteristics, and there are thousands of each different type. They have their palpi, their labial palpi, their maxillary palpi, and what those are essentially mouth fingers. That's what I like to call them. So these guys have very, very short palpi. This is the Predaceous diving beetle, so we have this filiform antenna right here, and then this right here, that little segmented piece, and this little segmented piece right there, those are the mouth fingers. Those are the palpi, the maxillary palpi, and in this family, you can see that the palpi are shorter than the antenna. And then we're going to move into the polyphaga when we talk about the hydrophilids, or the water scavengers. This is our hydrophilid, and the antenna connects right here in front of the eye. This is our compound eye. And then secondarily, they've got long mouth fingers that are longer than the length of the antenna. This right here is the palp that we want to be looking at. It's the maxillary palp, and you can see it continues on. It goes, it goes, it goes, and it goes even further. And I have to change the focus a little bit so that you can see that it comes all the way out to the end way over here. This maxillary palpi is significantly longer than the antenna. Now, if we are looking at the underside of my hydrophilid, we can see right here, this is the keel. And all hydrophilids are going to have this kind of expanded keel. The next one we're going to be looking at are the Histerids or the Hister beetles. Now, Histerids, super flat beetles. The elytra are those first pair of wings. Like I said, they're short, right? So you can see abdomen. He isn't this flat because I squished him. He isn't this flat because I pinned him this way. They are this flat naturally. That's going to help them a lot when they are underneath bark. I don't know, I kind of love them. So, Toleans get a special call out in the beetle live stream, even though I don't have any. The next family of beetles we're talking about are the Silphids. These are the Carrion beetles. So these beetles like dead animals. These guys right here are the burying beetles. They tend to have orange stripes on their elytra. One of the characteristics for this body form is that it has very square elytra, and it shows 1 to 3 abdominal segments. And then, these are also Silphids. They're in the same family. They look not a lot alike. The elytra are elongate on this form, and they have gradually clubbed antennae. So that's going to be another characteristic. The next beetle we're going to be looking at is a Staphylinidae. Those elytras start here and only go until about here. You can see a little bit of the wings that are tucked underneath. You can see the abdomen on the top. Most beetles, you can't see this much of the abdomen. A lot of times Rove beetles will also run with their abdomen kind of curled up and over their body, almost like a scorpion. We're going to look at the Lucanids, which are the Stag beetles. We are counting antennal segments. We can count 10 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to be our characteristics for all Lucanids. I wanted to talk about the Trogids. The Trogids are also called skin beetles. The texture on their exoskeleton is very, very rock-like. But if we look here, this is going to be our abdomen, and we got 5 ventrites. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see, and I promise you, there's a segment right here. Sometimes they call these a hidden segment. The first one is kind of hidden, but I promise he has 5. So there's so many to do. It's already been an hour. And then we will talk about the scarabs and the click beetles and the longhorn beetles and the fungus beetles and the lightning bugs and the leaf beetles and the weevils. We'll talk about those. So there are more things to come with my collection. I'm Insectopia. Find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I exist out there in the world, and I'd love to interact with you and talk about bugs and pictures and all of the things. So, signing out, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye!